At 3 a.m., Toriko and Komatsu were peacefully asleep when they were awakened. Sho handed them both martial arts uniforms, instructing them to put them on and meet him in the training hall. The exercise for the day was meditation. Both had to keep their minds calm and clear of any distractions to focus on listening to the essence of ingredients. The candle in front of them was made from torch horsetail, and it would extinguish immediately if the inner thoughts of the two fluctuated. They had to ensure the flame continued to burn for 30 minutes to be considered successful. After finishing meditation, Sho led the two to breakfast, which consisted of rice among eggs dish, fragrant and delicious but as delicate as an eggshell. Toriko tried to use chopsticks to pick it up, but they all broke, so he had to begin the morning training session on an empty stomach. Today, Sho taught everyone the basic greeting posture of culinary rituals, emphasizing the importance of expressing sincere gratitude to the ingredients. Any slight mistake in their movements would trigger the cactus to shoot them like porcupines. Then, Sho gave each person a seed to plant, the seed of the rose ham flower. They had to tend to the plant until it bloomed before they could eat rice, or else they would remain hungry. The next day, the tree bloomed, and a butterfly bread flew over to form a meat-filled sandwich. In order to obtain the fruit bubble, Toriko had to undergo rigorous training at the Shokorin temple. The people there were well-versed in culinary techniques, so they were very strong. Komatsu believed that with diligent practice, the two of them would surely overcome everything. In the following days, both progressed rapidly. While it took an ordinary person a month to complete basic meditation, they only needed 3 days. To increase the difficulty, Sho decided to extend the candle's burning time to 2 hours. Breakfast was changed to super slippery eels, and even during the greeting posture practice, they had to balance a pudding cake on their heads. If they blinked, the cake would melt, signifying training failure. The exercise of picking beans with chopsticks was also upgraded from a pair of 5-meter chopsticks to a pair of 10-meter ones. While they were taking care of the rose ham flower and a butterfly bread flying in and nibbling on a piece, Toriko, angered, waved his hand to shoo it away, inadvertently triggering a devastating technique that destroyed an entire building. Sho explained that due to Toriko's heightened focus, his movements were becoming stronger and more precise, preventing energy wastage. This, he revealed, was the true power of culinary techniques. Not only Toriko but also Komatsu made significant progress. While previously it took him 20 minutes to remove toxins from a puffer whale, now he only needed 20 seconds, with the fish barely realizing the poison sac had been removed. There was even a tale of a fish being filleted to the bone but still living and swimming for years due to the chef's top-tier skills. The two progressed rapidly. They could now maintain 10 candles for 2 hours, easily pick up rice among eggs and slippery eels, and enjoy a delicious meal. Toriko could now effortlessly split a large rock with a gentle wave of his hand, while Komatsu could julienne vegetables thinner than hair. They completed the training much faster than Sho imagined. After hearing the news, Master Chin came to congratulate them but couldn't remember their names. After a brief moment, he named them Tom and Colin. Later, Master Chin took Toriko to a pond to try retrieving Bubble's fruit. This time, when the bubble touched their hands, it didn't explode like before. However, Master Chin revealed a surprising truth: the fruit bubbles here were just fake, used for disciple training. Now, Master Chin will lead the two to find the real bubble fruit. However, before setting off, he senses something dark approaching from above the clouds. At this point, Master Chin leads the two into a bubble forest. The bubble fruit is an extremely timid ingredient, so only one of them will accompany him inside, and Toriko is chosen to pick the bubble fruit while Komatsu waits outside. Master Chin says that if Toriko can show extreme gratitude, he will obtain the bubble fruit and also learn the secret of food's end, a powerful technique that only a few can master. Then, Toriko begins to follow Master Chin into the bubble forest. They walk tirelessly on the endless path until their feet start to ache, yet nothing is in sight ahead. It's only then that Master Chin returns and tells him that the journey ahead is still long. Somewhere in the sky, a creature carrying the breath of darkness is approaching the Shokorin temple. On this side, the journey continues. Toriko feels like he's been here for a week already. Master Chin reveals that Imara once obtained the bubble fruit. Not wanting to lose to his friend, Toriko is forced to push forward with all his might. Toriko wonders why Master Chin is still energetic after such a long walk. Master Chin explains that despite his small stature, he weighs over a ton. Through the technique Food's End, he can store countless amounts of food inside his body to provide energy when needed. At this moment, the Shokorin temple suddenly disappears, as it has detected unknown intruders. Only an old lady's scream shatters the defensive state of the temple, revealing her identity as Chio, the 5th-ranked chef in the world, who mysteriously disappeared half a year ago. Accompanying her is a giant green-skinned monster and a young man dressed in white. Surprising everyone as the young man turns out to be Otaki, Komatsu's old friend. They immediately begin to attack the disciples of the Shokorin temple, causing many innocent people to be injured. Meanwhile, Toriko continues his journey to find the bubble fruit. The path ahead is still long, but Toriko is starving to the point where he can't take another step. The hunger overwhelms him, causing him to collapse and lose consciousness. In his haze, Toriko sees the shadows of his friends who fought alongside him in many battles. He feels his body becoming light. Could it be that he's truly dead? He hears the pounding of his heart, the voices of the ingredients once harmonized within his body, and he sends them sincere gratitude from the bottom of his heart. Suddenly, magic happens. Glittering fruit bubbles quickly appear and illuminate the forest, radiating warmth to all living creatures. Master Chin officially congratulates Toriko for successfully obtaining the bubble fruit. Toriko begins to eat one of the fruit bubbles, its sweet aroma instantly melting in his mouth. With each chew, its flavor intensifies. The bubble fruit becomes part of Toriko's body, and he masters food's end. The bubble fruit continuously supplies energy to every cell of Toriko's body. Shortly after, he rises with a body full of vitality. Sensing danger, Master Chin quickly returns to the temple. Elsewhere, without Master Chin's protection, his disciples must face a formidable enemy. Chio has joined the gourmet organization, and an elderly man wields a few staff moves to demonstrate his strength, only to be swiftly defeated by Chio. She wields a pair of sharp dual swords, capable not only of attack but also defense, making her the most formidable opponent. Meanwhile, Komatsu is delighted to meet his old friend Otaki, who suddenly stabs him in the abdomen. Sho, on the other hand, is knocked away by the giant green golem due to its overwhelming strength. The situation is now extremely dire. As Master Chin rushes back at the fastest speed, Toriko sits eating fruit bubbles to store energy, his strength reaching new heights. As for Komatsu, after being stabbed unexpectedly, he surprisingly doesn't bleed. It turns out that Otaki's weapon is a resurrection knife, a tool prohibited from use in the gourmet world. Otaki reveals that he has joined the gourmet organization and realizes that absolute power, not money or ingredients, is what controls this world. In the moment of deepest despair, Master Chin returns. Seeing his disciples defeated by Chio and the gourmet organization, he is filled with righteous anger. He releases a ton of energy reserves stored within his body to transform into a giant. Fearing their opponent is too powerful and the battle will affect those below, Master Chin and Chio take to the sky for a decisive showdown. With sufficient energy replenished, Toriko quickly appears with long, sleek blue hair even more luxurious than Sani's. Chio is terrified when Toriko masters food's end in a short time. Taking advantage of this, Master Chin uses two giant spoons to seal off space and trap her. Below, the green golem appears. Shu reveals it to be the scrum beast, a hybrid of hundreds of natural predators. Despite his long hair, Toriko doesn't rush into battle. He cuts his hair short to maintain his handsome appearance. Then, with a light flick of his hand, Toriko dismembers the entire right arm of the scrum beast, which regenerates only to be smashed by his 18 rapid and powerful punches, shattering its body. At this moment, the pair of spoons in the sky is opened, but the result is not as expected. Master Chin is defeated by Chio in the decisive battle. Seeing this, Toriko is enraged and wants to seek revenge, but Master Chin reminds him to stay calm, not to let emotions override reason. Before Master Chin can finish speaking, Chio launches her decisive move to end him. Sensing the danger posed by Chio's dual swords, Toriko realizes that a direct hit from them could be fatal. He immediately retreats, creating distance from his opponent. Toriko then unleashes knife leg technique, but Chio manages to block it with her dual swords. Seeing Chio rapidly closing in, Toriko is forced to use his fork armor to confront her sharp dual swords head-on. The clash of weapons results in a surprising outcome. Chio's dual swords shatter into pieces within moments. It turns out that the swords she wielded were fake, while the one she holds in her hand is her true weapon. At this moment, a gigantic creature suddenly appears in the sky. It's the Gourmet Corp's tyrannical shark, atop which is a white and red trimmed GT robot. Toriko senses that this is the most powerful GT robot he has ever seen, and their enemies decide to retreat, boarding the tyrannical shark to return to their base. Before leaving, they challenge Toriko to a future duel in the gourmet world. As the tyrannical shark disappears, she reveals that it is one of the most powerful beasts controlled by the Gourmet Corp, a formidable force under the Bishikukai's command. The GT robot said that the boss is very angry because Chio was injured while fighting against Master Chin and still insisted on fighting Toriko. Toriko also realized that the name controlling the new generation GT robot is Star June. Komatsu, overwhelmed with emotions, recalls fond memories with Otaki. Toriko suspects that Otaki might have been injected with gourmet cells and instructs Komatsu to wake him up as they are close friends. Komatsu wondered why Chio joined the Bishikukai. Master Chin, lying exhausted on the other side, also said he would explain it clearly to everyone, but now he was very cold. Suddenly, a mysterious figure emerges, wielding two swords, none other than Kairu, the proprietor of Disappearing Cuisine. Seeing that Master Chin was severely injured, she decided to use the forbidden technique, the resurrection knife, gently performing minor surgery on his wounds. After a while of treatment, it was done. Toriko brought many fruit bubbles for Master Chin to eat for recovery, and his wounds healed immediately. Kairu explained that the resurrection knife is made from various species of animals with cell regeneration abilities, but her skills are limited to healing wounds. Komatsu recalled that Otaki had also used this technique, and the rapid recovery of the wound left him with no sensation. Because Igo feared that this technique would disrupt the food chain, it was strictly prohibited. Despite its potency, it cannot resurrect the dead, as Master Chin revealed that attempting to revive the deceased was the reason Chio joined the Bishokukai. If the thin outer layer of the fruit bubble is peeled off, the flavor will be much better, which is Chio's favorite dish. During the battle with Master Chin, Chio also revealed something. She sought the 8th ingredient in Acacia's full-course menu to resurrect her deceased son, and the one who told her was none other than Midora. He told Chio that gratitude is meaningless in this world. Despite her son's death, Chio still harbors deep resentment, and she directs all her anger towards Master Chin. Acacia sealed 7 ingredients in the full-course menu, but the 8th ingredient is not something Acacia intended to keep hidden for himself. Surely, God is not the only ingredient that the Bishokukai is seeking. This information needs to be quickly relayed to IGO. In the gourmet world, at IGO's secret facility where ingredients are researched and processed, the 0th biotope, Giman remains emotionless, indifferent to Love's conversation. Yosaku and Milk the First are also present. Everyone enters the dining room, where 20 members, each possessing tremendous strength, have gathered, invited by the IGO chairman. They all sit down to eat together. The woman with pink hair is Gourmet Literary Master Melisma, also known as the Gourmet Living Legend. The elderly man is Gourmet Setai Master Malaye, specializing in therapeutic massage and alignment. Next to him is Ultimate Pot Artisan Kirebo, Gourmet Mountain Bandit Goblin Ramon, Gourmet Magician Manon. Tak, a warrior of the Garo tribe, Assassin Megarodras, Martial Artist Gourmet Hunter Sakura, Gourmet Astronomer Rala, Gourmet Hermit Kusaru, and Gourmet Surgeon Adashino. Everyone discusses Master Chin's attack and the mysterious 8th ingredient that the Bishokukai is seeking. Today's main goal is to gather forces for God. Then, the IGO chairman asks Gourmet Astronomer Rala about shortening the Gourmet Sun's time, ensuring it will happen in about 6 months. Fighting the Bishokukai is inevitable, and if it happens, the IGO chairman hopes that the 0th biotope will remain unique. As the meeting concludes, everyone leaves. Rala informs the chairman about the 4 beasts awakening from their long slumber. A task he still needs to complete. Ichirio probably thinks the 4 beasts matter will be handled by his reliable disciples. In a month, the world's chefs will gather again, and the Bishokukai will likely come to capture them. Kusero volunteers to be their protector. After the battle, Master Chin bid farewell to Toriko and Komatsu, the only disciples he remembered. Meanwhile, at the castle, Star June also tasted the fruit bubble, and Midora was engrossed in eating passionately to enhance his strength. At that moment, Alfaro stood lost in thought when Sushefu informed him that Boss Midora was still craving food and they needed to find even more delicious ingredients because the bubble fruit alone wasn't enough. Sushefu revealed that he had been investigating Acacia's menu, and the key to that menu might be the Infinity Bee. The legend about the bee species that could help locate Acacia's ingredients that these bees usually appear in places with bright sunlight. Based on this folklore, Sushefu speculated that it might be hiding in the human world. You would undertake this mission along with the GT robot. Toriko returned to Komatsu's restaurant and enjoyed the dishes that Komatsu prepared. Toriko was impressed by the new ingredients that Komatsu could cook with after their training session. Suddenly, Gourmet Treasure Setuno came to meet Toriko and Komatsu because she heard that the two of them had mastered culinary principles. So she wanted to see if it was true. Setuno highly praised Komatsu's dishes on the table because they were all made from difficult ingredients. However, she had an important task for Toriko and Komatsu, which was to find a particular ingredient. Both of them immediately accepted the task and went with Tom to the sea. The special wheat Setuno wanted to find was the type used to make phantom noodles, which included flavors from ramen, udon, spaghetti, and many others, attracting the appetites of thousands worldwide. Everyone was eager to taste it because in the gourmet world, the exquisite flavor of these noodles couldn't be overlooked. First, they had to find the golden wheat, which was part of Komatsu's training with Setuno. Komatsu felt a bit overwhelmed when he heard about the honorific food. He thought that although he handled the puffer whale fish easily, he still hadn't reached the level of capturing the bubble fruit, feeling inferior to Kairu. Setuno mentioned that the golden wheat was in this sea area, but as they didn't know exactly where, Toriko asked the nearby fisherman, who directed them to a glowing island. The entire group ascended to the dazzlingly bright island, rendering them unable to see anything due to the blinding light. At that moment, Toriko suddenly snatched Tom's glasses and casually harvested the golden wheat. While they were harvested, Toriko stopped and told Tom and Komatsu to run because right in front of them was the GT robot. Toriko wanted to ask about the robot's purpose, but Chef Yu, the robot's controller, attacked Toriko. Yu's main goal was to wait for the sunlight to rise high to catch the infinite bee, but his temper was a bit hot, so he attacked Toriko upon seeing him. Meanwhile, Komatsu was busy picking up the fallen strands of golden wheat. Surprisingly, Yu immediately leaped to attack head-on, then vanished. This GT robot was equipped with biological camouflage to blend into its surroundings, only revealing itself behind Toriko to deliver a powerful punch. Jojo at the castle praised Yu as the most outstanding controller of the GT robot in the Bishokokai. Toriko hurled his fork straight at the GT robot. But Yu asserted that even though it couldn't dodge in time, the GT robot wouldn't be affected at all because its armor was made of a new alloy, a combination of titan and the hardest material in the gourmet world, the shell of the clam. Despite Yu's claims, Toriko continued to attack relentlessly, proving theory and reality don't always align. Yu vanished again, but Toriko used his heightened senses to strike Yu. Unable to withstand Toriko's attacks, Yu attempted to use psychological tactics to distract Toriko, but Toriko not only grew stronger but also more determined. Yu signaled Jojo and intended to use the stored power of the GT robot. The robot's eyes glowed, but Toriko declared he would destroy the robot to protect the ingredient. Yu revealed that the machine was specially designed to move freely in any harsh environment. On the other side, Komatsu had gathered enough golden wheat. Yu rushed forward to kick but was blocked by Toriko, who retaliated, sending Yu flying. Yu persisted with another kick but was effortlessly thrown aside by Toriko as if they were just playing around. Toriko remarked that he hadn't fully exerted himself yet, mindful that the golden wheat material could be damaged. Despite Yu's reluctance to retreat in disgrace, he charged forward to punch Toriko directly, then disappeared stealthily. Yu rushed towards Komatsu's rear to capture the infinity bee, only to be drawn in by the golden wheat. It was acknowledged that Komatsu indeed had a lucky culinary touch, attracting both the century soup and the infinity bee. After seizing the infinity bee, Yu vanished as the GT robot had reached its limit. Both of them were sure that Setsuno knew Bishokokai would come there, but when they arrived at the restaurant, it wasn't the case. It was all because Setsuno was busy with something else. Setsuno requested Komatsu to come down to the kitchen, and Komatsu himself would cook Setsuno's noodle dish. Toriko assured him to be confident since he had just gone through a more challenging training session. Setsuno would guide Komatsu on how to prepare the dish and instructed him to listen to the voice of the ingredients. Komatsu took out his kitchen knife, swiftly removing unnecessary parts in a blink of an eye, handling everything very naturally. Setsuno handed Komatsu a bottle of Air 777, an ingredient, and told him to use it naturally since she had plenty of it. Toriko feared it would expand, but to their surprise, the golden wheat absorbed all 100 liters of water. Golden wheat was an extraordinary ingredient. When needed, it could produce sounds similar to human voices. It was Komatsu's first time making the golden wheat emit sounds, which pleased Setsuno greatly. As Komatsu kneaded, punched, the sounds of the golden wheat became clearer, sometimes even sounding like subscribe, subscribe. After kneading the dough all day, the golden wheat flour was finally ready. Setsuno felt very satisfied with its hardness and glossiness, similar to a baby's cheek. Today, phantom noodles would be sold again. And the live broadcast's host today was none other than Tina. It had been a while since they had seen this lovely reporter, and surely everyone remembered her well. Before the noodles appeared, Rin had already arrived, embracing Toriko. Komatsu would be the one selling instead of Setsuno today. Phantom noodles could transform into various types of noodles depending on the cooking method. After some cutting and boiling, udon noodles were ready, and if the dough was cut thin and boiled with century soup, it would become century ramen. The two girls ate the noodles, their faces turning silly with delight. Toriko was no exception, enjoying the noodles with a blissful expression. Tom also arrived to indulge in the feast. And Komatsu gifted him a bowl of noodles shining brightly like sunlight. Komatsu continued to create another dish, a special yakisoba stir-fry to treat the early arriving guests, along with soy sauce ramen and bamboo slide noodles, nagashi somen. As the days passed, the guests became more and more crowded, bustling about. In no time, the evening sky had settled in, and Toriko's belly felt as if it contained a ton of food. Tina felt disappointed for arriving early and not being able to eat much. Setsuno believed that meeting those top chefs had made Komatsu mature a lot. The experiences and lessons had taught Komatsu valuable lessons. All he had been through were the most precious lessons. Setsuno's words sounded like poetry, like literature, captivating to listen to. After she left, she came back and let Komatsu know that preparing the special ingredient, golden wheat, for making phantom noodles, was as difficult as handling the bubble fruit. Surely, Komatsu would be able to cook it soon because his culinary principles were excellent. Nono arrived to pick up Setsuno and questioned why she had asked Toriko and Komatsu for help when she could make phantom noodles in 3 minutes. It was because Phantom Noodle wanted to challenge both of them. Setsuno's task, which Nono had completed, was to prepare 10 million emergency cup noodles with the finest ingredients. Teppei, listening nearby, guessed that Setsuno was handing over ramen cups and planning to abandon the food truck. At that moment, Coco walked on a grass field, scaring away a frightened scorpion, while Sunny calmly sat eating mush roses among the crowd. All three of them were still training to prepare for the battle before the gourmet four beasts awakened. Setsuno informed Teppei that all 4 heavenly kings had now learned all the culinary secrets. At the Bishokokai castle, you had brought back the infinity bee. Teppei felt concerned because he had recently sensed a dangerous smell without knowing the cause. In the gourmet city, where the atmosphere is unusually quiet, at the King's Gourmet restaurant on the 330th floor, one of the symbols of the gourmet tower, the 4 heavenly kings are gathering for a meal. Suddenly, on the television, Tina delivers an urgent message from IGO advising people to follow IGO staff instructions to find immediate shelter. Meanwhile, Terry is carrying Komatsu along with luggage. Coco and Sunny are boasting to each other about their aristocratic eating habits, while Toriko and Zebra need no introduction. Komatsu has also arrived to pick up Rin. While dining, Sunny mentions that in life, one cannot predict what will happen, so it's essential to eat what you like and marry the one you love. Coco, on the other hand, believes in saving the best for last, thinking that things will taste better if eaten later. Toriko immediately states that as long as you enjoy what you're eating, any dish will suffice, while Zebra prefers actions over words, wishing the dishes in front of him would turn into his favorites. During the past week, Komatsu and Kairu at the disappeared restaurant learned how to cook bubble fruit. Today, he will bring it to the 4 heavenly kings to enjoy. Rin boasted about a monster-level measuring device with a level over 100, which made Komatsu worry for the 4 heavenly kings. Today, the group sits down to discuss their final training ingredients, all of which are sleeping beasts in the gourmet worlds. 4 beasts. Outside, people are seeking refuge due to IGO's warning of an impending storm, alongside a notice that the 4 beasts will destroy 2 gourmet world areas and advance toward the human world. 30 billion people are taking shelter at the center of the human world. The television program here concludes as everyone evacuates to Food Plaza Park. Mr. Masan said to the IGO business director that perhaps the favorite food of the 4 beasts is humans, so they have come a long way here. Humans will not lose because President Ichiryu will defeat them, but now the president is in the 0th biotope, so hopefully, trust will be placed in the 4 heavenly kings. While the world worries, Toriko and Zebra continue to fight over a steamed bun. Coco and Sunny remain calm, considering it an everyday occurrence. Head chef Yuda brings the food to the group and is pleased to see the 4 heavenly kings not tense despite facing the 4 beasts, so he offers them all the top dishes. Yuda has evacuated all his staff. Toriko admires his courage in not evacuating like others. As Toriko speaks, Zebra devours all of Yuda's cooked dishes. Rin and Komatsu bring the bubbles fruit they prepared for everyone to enjoy. Komatsu is so impressed with the top chef that he asks for his autograph. Everyone sits down and enjoys the bubbles fruit. After being cooked, the intensely sweet tastes like melted pudding on the tongue. Just as Master Chin mentioned. Taking just one bite, the gourmet cell of the 4 heavenly kings grows significantly. Rin also has an important task here, which is the chairman giving her a video message to request. The 4 heavenly kings open the video, and the chairman instructs them on how to defeat the 4 beasts. They divide into 4 directions, east, west, south, and north, advancing into the human world. Humanity is hiding at the center, 1,000 square kilometers away from them. To fight, they need to divide into 4 directions to swiftly defeat the 4 beasts and prevent them from entering the restricted area. If they manage to enter the restricted area, it will be the end for humanity. After finishing their meal, the 4 heavenly kings called their pets to prepare for battle. Zebra's pet is a gigantic Daruma horse, its level unknown, borrowed from a hermit. Meanwhile, volcanic eruptions signal the awakening of the gourmet 4 beasts after hundreds of years of deep sleep, and the 4 heavenly kings have divided themselves into 4 directions to stop their return. All the armies are immediately mobilized, and on the screen, there are many scenes of desolation, where the gourmet 4 beasts have passed, all life is destroyed. On the human side, there are over 100 tanks, missile-equipped aircraft, and the most modern naval warships. However, when facing the gourmet 4 beasts, the entire fleet was wiped out in just 10 minutes. They truly are machines of destruction bringing catastrophe to the human world. At the moment when humanity feels most desperate, the 4 heavenly kings have appeared at 4 different battlefronts. Toriko and Battle Wolf Terry's opponent is Fong King, level 100. Rin and Komatsu also follow to observe. To be cautious, they maintain a distance of 5 kilometers and use smoke to mask their scent so Fong King cannot detect them. Fong King immediately strikes, but Terry manages to dodge. Despite being far away, the impact is strong enough to blow Rin and Komatsu away. Taking advantage of Battle Wolf's extreme speed, Toriko approaches Fong King and delivers 30 consecutive blows to its abdomen. He also wore a scanning device on his hand, which is designed to measure the level of the opponent. It is made from the tongue of a flower-eating tiger. Toriko used this device to scan Fong King and assess its danger level. The reading displayed on the device is 127. Sunny's King Octopus Kong is 132, Zebra's Mouthwatering is 130, and Coco's Invade Death is 140. Among them, Invade Death is the creature with the most antibodies in the Gourmet 4 beasts, so it is not afraid of Coco's poison. Coco is greatly suppressed by Invade Death. Moreover, Invade Death's shell is extremely tough, and even Coco's poison sword cannot harm it. Sunny's opponent, King Octopus Kong, is both strong and resilient, possessing infinite endurance, a quality in which Sunny is vastly inferior. Mountrattle possesses fiery breath that incinerates everything, and when facing Zebra's destructive sound waves, it is equally matched. At this moment, all of humanity is watching the battle on the screen, the confrontation between the 4 Heavenly Kings and the Gourmet 4 beasts. Which side will emerge victorious? Stay tuned for the next episode. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, share, and comment your thoughts. Thank you for watching.